On this day in Seventh-Day Adventist history, April 22. I was born in 1833. 15 years later, I was converted and joined the Congregational Church. I would marry Mary Howe when I was 18 years old, and by 1853 I was preaching for the First-Day Adventist and started keeping the Sabbath the last part of that year. Within the next year, I would bring out the first company of Sabbath keepers in Hubbardston, Massachusetts, and would be instructed by Captain Joseph Bates more fully in the Three Angels message. I would work as a self-supporting worker, organizing churches and helping to establish the work in New England for the next 16 years. On the 8th of June, 1869, I would organize the first Vigilant Missionary Society in South Lancaster, Massachusetts. My ordination would come in another year, officiated by Elder James White, J.N. Andrews, and J.H. Wagner. And then I would be elected president of the New England Conference for the next 17 years. I would start track societies and conferences east of the Rockies, become president of the main conference, while still president of both the California and the New England conferences. On May 10, 1885, I would sail to open up the work in Australia. That same year, I would begin printing the Bible Echo, establish the Australian printing office, and organize the first church in New Zealand. 2 years later, with a company of 3 Bible workers, I would open the work in London, England. It was in 1888 and in 1889 that I would take a trip around the world, stopping in Europe, Africa, India, China, Japan, and also Australia for the second time. On this trip, I would baptize the first Seventh-Day Adventist in both China and Japan. In January of 1894, my wife Mary would die. On my third trip to Australia in 1897, I would marry for the second time to Hetty Hurd and would work there until 1899 when I returned to the United States. I would publish many books. In 1901, The Story of Daniel the Prophet. 1902, The Bible Training School. 1904, The Story of the Seer of Patmos. 1914, The Cross and its Shadow. I would finally die in 1922. Who am I? On this day, April 22, 1833, Stephen Nelson Haskell was born in Massachusetts.